even if you may be sinking, hold on, be strong, even when the kids ain't acting right, job make you wanna fight, family and friends are gone, everything's going wrong, you're unbreakable, you're unshakable.
Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Black Widow, here with another episode of A Chat with Teasbox. Today, we're talking to Teasbox Records recording artist, singer, songwriter, dancer, actor, and all-around incredible performer, Jon Pierce. We're talking about his latest single, Survivor, and the projects associated with his new release. So, without further ado, Jon Pierce, everyone. So, because you and I we friends in real life, I figured we didn't talk before, so I said we could just go on and
let's rock on out. Absolutely. We do this.
You mentioned earlier, some of the good things that have come out of all of this creatively. And I've been talking to different creatives, whether it's for the label or for the paper. And that has been the recurring theme with Black creatives who have been saying, I felt a pause, and then it was like, okay, now I got to pivot and go to the next level. And the creativity, what people have been doing and what they've been creating and new platforms and ideas has just been astounding to me personally. And then even in my own personal life, have you found that your creativity went to a new level?
Absolutely. And I just contemplate, you know how I do. I try to think about everything. I'm a true Scorpio. I analyze everything. But I think it's because when we were in regular mode, I'm going to call it, we were focused more on the gig, being creative to get through the gig.
Right.
When there is no gig, you can only focus on being creative.
Right.
And so it's actually like, I remember before my birthday in Jamaica, that was my birthday in Jamaica 2 years ago was the first time I took a vacation in over 15 years of being a full entertainer. And I still got out there, still was making work. It still was work. It still was work.
It was a working vacation.
It was a working vacation because it still was about me as an artist and me and that thing. So I feel like in this season, in this COVID season, as I call it, a good thing that has come out of it is that it just put creatives on pause where they didn't have to focus on the dollar per se. They had to focus. If you wanted to be sane, you did what you love. You do what you love. And so, and that's just create. So I've been doing so many different kinds of music. I've been playing on all kind of apps, doing all kind of different stuff. It was one app I got, and they have just so many tracks, and I just been challenging my mind. How many different songs I can remake to this? How many new songs can I just write to not even house music, just music, just singing, learning new songs. I've been here learning new songs. I do a lot of theater, so I've been learning new monologues, learning scripts. So I just had the time to just and build and cultivate and take myself to the next level in my art.
Do you feel like being creative and being able to do certain things has kind of helped your mental space as well? Because
Absolutely, because I know for me, music is life. Performing is life, and all the aspects I do performing at, which either if it's singing and dancing or dancing, acting, theater, all of that is life to me. I know that I was born to do this. I know that it was for me because, when I don't have that, if I don't have a outlet in that way, I could tell within me, like in the beginning of this, that's what brought on that stress levels. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What is it going to become? What is this? What is this? And, other stuff on top of that. But this music, as soon as I was able to get all of those, my apps together, get my music together, build me a little fake ass studio in my house. And so I can really work from here and create without any stress. everything centered. Everything came together for me, and that's why I think I was able to really push forward in this with this release we just put down. So it kind of like pushed me to another level where, you know, I'm not afraid of TV now and different things to push forward in those areas of performance and bigger spotlights and bigger places where, because sometimes us performers, we do rely on the audience in front of us, especially coming from theater, going to school for musical theater. We are looking for that constant rotation of energy in the room. Right. And sometimes just being an artist or I had to come into the understanding is that it's my job as an artist to give. So, you know, some artists, I'm going to go down a side street real quick to get around to the way. But I feel like sometimes I always hear artists say, you know, the audience was a bad audience. That audience wasn't good. That audience wasn't ready for me. That audience wasn't this and that. And I feel like God told me that 10 years ago, throw that out of your head. The audience does not come to give you a show. The audience does not come to give you, Jon, an entertainer, anything. If they weren't gifted with singing and song and dance and performance like you are, and been blessed to be able to perform like you are, that means that they're working a 9 to 5 every day. They're taking care of kids. They're taking care of family. Their life is different than yours. So it is your job when they come off that job on a Friday night or sacrifice sometimes if you have a show on a weekday and sacrifice that moment, sacrifice that money to bring it to the table for you and what you got to bring. That means that it's your job is to take their energy and feel it and help them, you know? And so sometimes we don't know as an artist that it's our job to give to them. And then once we do our job, they can give back to us and it becomes an energy transfer. And that's why my band is called Energy Transfer for that reason.
Really? See, I did not know that, but I love that. And I think that kind of brings us to today's, your new release that came out. Let's talk about it.
I'm a survivor. Yeah.
How timely.
And it's so crazy because I wrote it a year ago across the street from my house in the park. I was walking through the park and I was just thinking, you know, about my family, which most of my songs is really truly about family and spirituality. And, you know, and I was just thinking about my family and thinking about, and Black people in general, I'm just going to be honest, Black people in general, I was saying we are survivors no matter what is going on, no matter what has happened. We, you know, we get through it. We get through it all. And with that concept, I just kept thinking about it. And so I met Aki Dawson, the original producer of the song, last year at the oh God, my brain is frying. The picnic thing they have in on 59th Street at the Midway Appliance. Oh God, it'll come to me.
Chuck Pierce.
Yeah, Foreplay. So I met Aki at Foreplay, and he was like, "I produce, I sing, I got some records. Why don't you come through and hear them?" And I was like, "You know what? Cool." And I went and heard some tracks. And I heard that original track, and he played about 20 tracks for me. He was like, "Well, I want to do this song and write this and write this." I just had to stop him and say, that very first one you played was it. It was God said, I hear it. I hear something I was starting to work with is going to work with this one. And I usually don't work like that. I usually love to create from nothing with me and the producers, and we'll go back and forth with keys and with everything. I really love to create that way. But this track brought so much inspiration that I heard it. I literally had those words that I was writing, and the melody came to me in like 2 minutes. And then literally I wrote that whole song in probably about a week. Wow. And I say a week because I was doing plays and doing some shows and stuff like that, because the concept and everything was already there. And when I heard it, I was like, oh, here we go. This is done. And so we went from there. And
that was a year ago.
That was a year ago.
Imagine that the song will be coming out at this moment.
This moment in time.
you know.
And I kept saying, because we finished the record at the end of the year, and it's like, well, when we want to come out, it was supposed to come out in December, it was supposed to come out in January, it's supposed to come out in all the different times. But I kept saying, well, well, all of us was saying, Immaculate and Terry, and all of us was saying, just take the time. Is it actually where we want it to be? Let's listen to it again. And it's just something about the energy and the spirit of the universe that always make things happen at the right time.
Right.
And we're just saying, well, is it ready yet? Let's do this. Let's look at some other songs. Let's work on this. Let's work on that. And so it's just, sometimes I get a little anxious, but it always works out in the perfect time. And I feel like right now is the time, because we are coming through the top of the pandemic into a more of an ease, but we're not out the clear yet. I can't wait till we're out of the clear. But I just feel like these words are going to speak to people, not only just for this time, but for the whole, if you look at your life and things that you survived during this time. I have a video coming out with it as well, but it's not like a video like I did for I Am. It's a little dance video, but I asked few people to tell their story, their survival story. All they have to do is say their name and say what they survived of. And what I hope is when people see it, they'll still do it. They'll do their own video and say their name and say what they survived from. And when I tell you I've been listening to these videos and tears have come to my eyes, because I can't, it's one thing to know, because people, I'm a survivor, but to know what one of the things that they survived for, and then you start to think, well, damn, I survived a lot. I went through this, I went through that, I went through this, I went through that. I survived that too. I'm still here and I'm still strong. That has taken me, it has brought tears to my eyes.
That's that song, because I've said there are a couple of songs where those lyrics take me back to things that I've gone through. And you may see me crying on the dance floor, but it's joy and gratitude and thankfulness, because like I said, it's like being in church. It's like a testimony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think at this moment, especially for us, where we're getting hit on all these sides, politics, social justice, all this other stuff, revolution, riots, all on top of a pandemic. The weights that we're carrying right now as a people, we need to be reminded that we have carried bigger. And
we've carried bigger.
And we have been able to shake them things off and keep it moving.
Keep it moving. And that's our gift. I think that's our gift as human beings, period, first and foremost. But then I have to make it personable to being a black man and being a black woman. We have went through, they have thrown everything and the kitchen sink at us, and we have dusted off and brushed it off our shoulders, healed the bruises and fixed the bruises and kept it moving. And that is a powerful thing to know, how strong you are as a person in your own personal space, you as a family member, a brother and sister, or father or mother to your family, and then you as a whole with your community and your people. That is it's so powerful to me. And I wanted to tell a behind the scenes thing. So Danny is actually the first person who ever heard Survivor, honestly, the truth. Other than the people working on the song, outside of us working on the song, she's the first person that heard it. So and what you just said is exactly what you said in that car that night. Because I was like, we were at a party and I was like, okay, you need to come outside with me right now.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, and when we stopped the song, you said, those lyrics have taken me out of here. This is everything. So, and I'm so grateful for that, because I do want people to hear the lyrics. And so on this project, I'm doing a lyric video because I really want people to read the word and just the words and take them in. And that's why I'm doing a so-called Survivor project with people, because I want this to become a movement in a way that's not even about the song, but it's about the human spirit. It's about healing. Yeah. What we're going through right now.
How did Immaculate, how did he come into play when you guys were doing the project?
Me, I called them. Well, working on the project. So we're working on a couple of songs, like with part of like my EP thing. Mm-hmm. And so I really trust Immaculate's ear. I trust, and as an artist, Immaculate is a jack of all trades and a master of all that he does, and continues to work on himself over and over again. Shout out to you, Emac. I love you. You know this. Yeah. And how he gives up himself in every situation. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of artists, majors on down, when you get with a person that is a great engineer, that one can help the recording go immaculately fast. I know his name. And it just makes the session go right. And when somebody who can hear and knows your voice and loves your voice. Right. And so we work together. We move fast. And so that's what I told Aki, and I appreciate Aki, and I'm being very transparent with this, because it's a great record and great piece that he produced. And I just wanted him to trust the process with me, and he did. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to bring my team in so we can, bring it up to where it has to be for me. And it wasn't that it was anything wrong. It was just that the way I record and produce, because some producers like to record you themselves and do it all themselves. But I've learned in the last years or so that I won't let my product, which is me, go out any kind of way anymore. Because sometimes I have just went in and just sang stuff, giving them 6 or 7 takes of everything. And I'm like, well, you're the producer, you do this and you do it and you go ahead. And then when I hear the record back, it's sometimes hard for me to be proud of it. Not because it's not good, but it's just, some of the stuff I was like, I wouldn't have chosen that. Right. It's me like, oh, I wouldn't have chose that, but they hear it and it sounds great to them, and it's fine. But I want to also feel confident in it, and I'm confident in Immaculate's engineering abilities to sometimes I can let it. And this is another thing that he does. He won't do something without my approval or saying, I got an idea. What if we did this or did that within the track, or what if we changed and moved this section? Let's add, some more drums here or there. He just won't do it. He'll call me and say. So I appreciate that level of trust between us. That we want the best for the product, and you know how he works. But that's not very involved in the thing, because what I'm doing right now, it probably won't be a project that I do that he won't have some hand in it.
I think that's especially as artists, and I'm learning this, to trust my voice and my ear as well. And the fact that I have my own ideas about how I want my voice to sound or how I want something to come out. And it's not a all or nothing kind of, not everything you want and it's not everything I want. When you have a producer artist team that works in true collaboration and partnership, you're getting the best of me, I'm getting the best of you. And even that process of bouncing those ideas back and forth and coming up with something new and trying this, that is what takes the record from great to, know.
And I look at it like this. That's what harmony is. Right. That's what harmony really is. Doing your part for the same song or for the same chord. A chord cannot come together if, you know what I'm saying, if everybody's doing the same thing. But if you're doing your thing on different levels, it makes it so beautiful. So it brings forth that harmony, and it brings forth, I don't think there's one amazing, great record in this world that one person just did all by themselves. You need someone else. Now, let's be clear, there's some artists who have done complete albums by themselves, and you're like, whoa, that was really good. Mm-hmm. Now, I give that too, but the hits of hits is usually more than one person working on it.
Incredible collaborations.
Collaborations that bring a real, because I love that, because I don't want everything to sound like me. I'll get tired of myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gifted to sing and write a certain way. So then if I'm gifted to sing and write a certain way and present a certain way, then I have a different producer or a different writer or a different musician or whatever, they can like, yes, we love that. I'm gonna wrap this around that. The way you do that, I'll do me around that, and you do this and do, and then you create masterpieces like that.
And that, you know what, that trust is the key.
Trust is the key.
So I trust you as the artist, to know what you want to sound like and what you like. And then as an artist, I'm putting my trust in the producer that you know me as an artist well enough to know how to bring the best out of me and add the little spices that go into this musical gumbo that we're creating.
Yeah.
So it tastes good.
It tastes good.
It's good.
But and that's what it is. Everybody bringing the right seasoning and the right time, and trusting that your season gonna be good. I ain't gotta think you about to put raisins in the potato salad. I ain't gotta worry about that. I can leave it. I can tell you to watch it. Can you watch that pot for me? Right. I ain't gotta worry. It's gonna be coming out burned.
We're not gonna have nothing bland up in here.
Not at all. Not at all.
In addition, are you still working on the EP and things like? What are you doing right now? What projects?
Yeah, I'm still working on the EP. I kind of show some snippets of what some of the other stuff I'm doing. I've been doing a lot of creating not really like R&B, because I'm not an R&B. I think R&B is a certain kind of sound, like an R. Kelly or like a Brandy kind of sound. That's real. Chris Brown, those people are real R&B. So what I'm going for is because I'm house, I really want to go for a vibey kind of sound that's still rhythmic, but a lot slower.
Okay.
A lot slower. So I've been working on, and I've been putting some snips on my Instagram. So go to my Instagram and listen to it. Like I did some stuff with like a little thing of Rock the Boat and just different stuff. And stuff I'm just making up and just stuff for something I'm just trying and just and working on, just having fun with my voice and really loving, what's coming out of me right now. And so yeah, I got some different kind of music. Like I did that song Come Here, Let Me Show You. And that was the spark of it, of bringing down tempo vibe music. And so I'm working on a few of that. And so that should be really fun. And looking at new producers that I'm working with for that. And I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, baby. Bye-bye.